Okay, today what we'll be doing is replacing the ignition coil on 1998 Honda CRV. This is Chinese junk I got on eBay for $7.30 free shipping. The check engine light came on and it was misfiring in cylinder 1 and 3, and if you don't know what that means, it was kind of like get idle. It would just kind of skip or kind of jump. It was just wasn't smooth. We're going to remove the wires off the rotor. We're going to use so I mark these with tape, colored tape. And there to there, there to there, I just mark them. We'll, label the tape 1, 2, 3, and everything like that. First step, next you're going to take a screwdriver, Phillips head, and unscrew these. 1, 2, and then there's one under. So the underneath is not the easiest place. I'm using a small Phillips screwdriver. You can also use a 7mm, but as you can see, it's not the easiest, and it's kind of hard to get at. Got the cap off and didn't have to take the screws off. Now we're going to get the rotor button off, and as you can see, it's the other way. There's actually a screw on it, and it has to be right here on this side. So I've got to bump the engine a little bit, jink, jink, until that kind of spins over, so I can button the part right there is facing towards the radiator. And I believe I'm going to try to show you this, probably upside down or whatnot. There is the screw that you got to get at. As you can see, I got the screw off. Hold your hand under it in case you drop the screw. And next step, should just slide off like that. So take this cover off. Yep, take it off. And there is our ignition bolt from the top wire. And there's two Phillips screwdriver. I guess they're Japanese industry standard JIS screws. Use a good screwdriver. I got the other one I was using, Harbor Freight, garbage freight, garbage screws. And there's one more under there, so you can see that one right there. That 1, 2, 3, and 4. Trouble removing the bottom screw, so what I did was remove the air filter housing as well as this rubber piece, so I could get a real screwdriver on there. That's what I would recommend for you to do. So one way to do it, not recommended, is I destroyed the old ignition coil just to get this stripped screw off. And with vice grips, and this was a 8mm on the inside of the destroyed ignition coil, I was able to get. Alright. And it's just screwing off. Free at last, let's roll some grass. Here, so we got the new ignition coil, and we just, very easily, we're going to put our 2 longer screws up there, and then we're going to hook up, this goes to the negative, I believe, the top one, and that one screws in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the 2 big screws and the 2 small screws. Everything goes back on the way it came off. Put the top one that I stripped on the top. I like to see girls strip, not screws. So that's on the top, and I actually got it with pliers. Obviously, this thing slips right on this cover, and then we'll put the rotor button on the way we did. Everything the other way. Thank you very much. Hopefully this distributor cap, I recommend like a 7mm in extension. This worked best for me. Also take this cover off the air filter housing. That helps. I also disconnected the battery. That'll turn the check. Alright, that's it. I'm going to correspond these marks. I'm done. Okay, so the tools you'll need is a 7mm, a couple good screwdrivers, and some tape to color them up. I also did a 10mm because I disconnected the battery to take off the check engine light.